Good afternoon everybody, and welcome to my latest video. By the way, if you like these videos, you can press the subscribe button, which you'll find underneath the video, and that will send you an email every time I upload a new video. And if you like these videos, you can press the thumbs up button, and if you dislike the videos, you can press the thumbs down button. But I wouldn't press the thumbs down button if I were you, because it doesn't work. Now, comments, we YouTubers love comments, and I can live for months on a compliment, and funnily enough, I can live for about a week on a negative compliment. So whatever you feel like saying, please say it, and if you want to ask me a question, and I may get round to answering it. So what are we talking about today? Well, we're talking about cycling, obviously, and we're talking about cycling juxtapositions. And what is the juxtaposition? Well, first of all, it is Monday, the 17th of September 2018, and if you didn't know, yesterday Simon Yates, a British rider, won the Vuelta a España, the third, probably, of the great three-week stage races. I guess the Tour de France is number 1, the Giro is number 2, and the Spanish one is number 3. But a fabulous achievement by Simon Yates. And what is it juxtaposed with? Well, two things really. First of all, I was listening to my favourite radio station, LBC, this morning. You never get so many rabid, mad, right-wing nutters in one place as you get on LBC, and that doesn't half brighten up my day. Anyway, what were they talking about? Nick Ferrari was talking about cycle super-highways. So cue the usual bunch of right-wing nutters. Oh, why don't cyclists pay road tax, and nobody ever uses the cycle lanes, and Sadiq Khan has wasted millions on cycle superhighways when he should be spending the money on whatever it is he should be spending the money on. And the third juxtaposition is the fact that JLT-Condor, one of our preeminent continental homegrown cycling teams, is folding at the end of this season because JLT, the insurance company, are withdrawing their main sponsorship after about 6 or 7 years, and they haven't been able to find a headline sponsor to replace them. So on the one hand, you have fabulous British achievement in the cycling world. On the other hand, you have a native cycling team folding, and then on the other hand you have something that is designed to increase the enjoyment and increase the number of people cycling in this country, so subject of endless criticism on LBC and in the newspapers and so on and so forth. So it's a shame. Let's talk about Simon Yates first of all. Now, there's a couple of things. There are three things that are interesting about Simon Yates' victory. First of all, he wasn't riding for Team Sky, believe it or not. He was riding for Mitchelton Scott, an Australian registered, are they registered in Australia? I think they are, an Australian registered team. And he and his brother Adam Yates have been signed with them for about four years now. And that's the first thing. He won a Grand Tour and he's not a Sky rider. The second interesting thing, of course, is that Simon Yates had such a good run in the Giro earlier this year, was on his way to victory, and then on the second to last stage, Chris Froome delivered his amazing performance on the Col de Fenest, and there is a video about this, by the way, if you want to see what I have to say about Chris Froome's performance, and incidentally it is positive. But for Simon Yates to come back from that shaking defeat, when he was so clearly the favourite, when he was so much on course to win the Giro, to lose it at the last moment, to come back from that, to maintain his motivation, to ride through the 3 weeks of a Grand Tour and sustain his effort and his performance all the way through to the end, nothing short of amazing. His great rivals at the Vuelta fell by the wayside. Quintana, not the rider he used to be. Stephen Kruijswijk did very well but faded at the end. Miguel Angel Lopez, Astana's #1 Colombian rider, very nearly did it but didn't in the end. Valverde, the perennial Valverde, and one has to admire the way that Valverde rides. He's had a checkered past, I know, but things have moved on from there, and he is a wonderful rider to watch. But the fact is, he's 37 now, may even be 38. He won't be winning another Grand Tour, and he faded at the last, whereas Simon Yates, 26 years old, and that in itself is quite surprising. It's not often in this day and age that a Grand Tour winner comes from somebody under the age of 27 or 28. So Sky, what happened to Sky, you may ask, in the Vuelta? Previously we were talking about Sky is too dominant in world cycling. What can we do to reduce Sky's dominance? Well, Sky were anything but dominant in the Vuelta. Kwiatkowski, fabulous rider, but he's not really a 3-week stage winner, and this Vuelta proved that. Their team not as strong as it should be, couple of injuries, which shows what happens when you have a smaller number of riders in a team. You have a couple of injuries, you're in real trouble. Mitchelton Scott won the Vuelta with Simon Yates, but they didn't do it like Sky did. They didn't dominate, they didn't try and control all of the racing. They weren't off the front all the time. Now generally Sky are off the front and they wear each other out, and sometimes it's enough to win and sometimes they wear themselves out. Mitchelton Scott, very clever tactical race. Matt White, amazing sports director, really knows his stuff, and they supported Simon Yates with a not very strong team. But Simon Yates, what a rider, what a guy. He's modest, he's quiet, doesn't shoot his mouth off, doesn't come up with a litany of rather weak excuses. He's a great guy to watch. He's a great guy to listen to. He's not the most fascinating interviewee. I mean, he's not Bradley Wiggins, but then, you know, who is? He's, dare I say it, more interesting than Froome. Froome can be a bit robotic, a bit metronomic. Simon Yates is not like that. Simon Yates appears genuine. And when it comes to it, he can win the stages. He can launch the escapes without his team members to support him, and he can wipe the floor with his rivals. And he did that in the Vuelta. He almost did it in the Giro, faded at the last, but now he's come back, he's proved himself. So, not for the first time, all 3 Grand Tours have been won in the same year by different riders from the same country. In this instance, of course, they're British riders, and the 3 are Froome, who won the Giro, Thomas, who won the Tour, of course, and now Simon Yates, who won the Vuelta. So a fabulous time for British cycling, except JLT-Condor folds. They were a good team. Aqua Blue, Aqua Blue. What can we say about Aqua Blue? They talked big. They said they were going to change things. They said they were going to do things differently. They said they had a new business model. And what happened to their business model? Well, if you can find it, you tell me where it is, because they don't exist as a cycling team anymore. And One Pro Cycling, Matt Pryor, the ex-cricketer, formed One Pro Cycling as, again, a new type of cycling team. And yes, it was. And they are going to cease sponsoring men's cycling, although they are going to switch their efforts into women's cycling, which has to be applauded. Wonderful thing for them to do, wonderful move, although it is disappointing that there are now 3 continental outfits that have folded or will be folding at the end of this year. And are they the only 3 that will fold? Well, one hopes not. So this is a time to celebrate British cycling, it's a time to mourn British cycling, and it's time to say to those people who moan about the cycle superhighways, oh, fuck off. Get out of your cars, get on your bikes. Tell you a little story, by the way. I decided to go up and ride around Regent's Park with a mate of mine a couple of Sundays ago, on a Sunday, but I don't cycle up to town, guys, I go by car. So I put the bike in the car and I drove up to London. I actually parked on the South Bank. Now, irony of ironies, a month or 2 ago I was done for speeding. So I guess I'm a little bit more careful now of noticing and paying attention to speed limits. And where I live in West Wickham, it doesn't take you long before you get to Crystal Palace. Between Crystal Palace and the South Bank, the speed limit is 20 miles an hour in a car. You tried doing 20 miles an hour in a car. It took me, I don't know, it took me 2 hours to drive to the South Bank on damn near empty roads, and I should have cycled. So there you are, more fool me. So on the one hand we celebrate British cycling, on the other hand we mourn British cycling, on the other hand we say British cycling, yes, great stuff, get out of your cars, get on your bikes. And Simon Yates, here's to some more Grand Tours. Geraint Thomas, here's to some more Grand Tours. Chris Froome, will he win another Grand Tour? I doubt it. But watch this space. See you next time.